So you're allowed to say that you're a Muslim or a Christian or any other religion, but you're only allowed to practice Freemasonry and their versions of other religions. And as I explained on my past videos, they control the so-called mosques and churches, but they build these fake mosques and churches so that you think they are allowing you to have any religion that you want, when in reality you can only choose between the ideologies that they control and they give you. So for example, you can bow down to a six-pointed star in a mosque or in a church or in a synagogue or in a Hindu temple, but it's still the same six-pointed star you're worshipping, and you're following the same actors pretending to be Muslim scholars or pretending to be Christian priests. But it's the same people behind the scenes. They go to the same lodges, they go to the same satanic meetings when they aren't inside the mosque or the church. Likewise, when it comes to freedom of speech, the Zionists like to just arrest everyone who practices freedom of speech, and they just want to use the slogan of freedom whenever they want to bomb or invade other countries and say that there's something wrong with Iraq or Afghanistan, and so we're better because we have freedom. You see, and so whenever they want people to, whenever they want to encourage the people to support their governments and their military, they use slogans like freedom or freedom of religion or freedom of speech, but they themselves absolutely hate freedom of speech and freedom of religion. In fact, one of the biggest tricks that they have played on the Muslims is that they have convinced many of us into thinking that Islam is actually against freedom of religion and freedom of speech. And so we as Muslims must be happy about the police state system that is becoming more and more extreme in every country, especially since 9/11. However, the Quran actually says that there is no compulsion in religion, and it even challenges people to even create a better religion than Islam in Surah Al-Baqarah, in the second chapter of the Quran. So in fact, Islam was originally revolting against the religious dictatorships of the Jews and the Catholics, but now they have twisted it around and they've turned it upside down using their fake Muslim scholars and their fake news on television. In fact, if you study the history of the Renaissance in Europe, you will see that it actually began from the Muslims of Spain and Morocco, and from there it spread among the Christians. And now these Zionists are getting rid of all the accomplishments of the Renaissance using the excuse of fake terror attacks, and even using the fake Muslims such as the Sufis in the West to serve and support their police state, while at the same time those same Sufis play their part as terrorist actors on television. So whenever they need an actor to play the role of the terrorists, they may use these Sufis, but then the same Sufi goes and complains about extremism and terrorism and saying that we need to conform with the government, and then they use the excuse that, well, Islam tells us that we shouldn't have any freedom.